Well, hello guys. Welcome back to another episode of Bareham Engines. Bet you weren't expecting to see me on here, was you, after what Isaac said the other day? So guys, yes, I am back. I've been off for a few days. I'm sorry because I have not got Isaac's magic stick here. I've got my own camera holder, so get them seasickness tablets ready. Right, guys, yeah, Isaac, wonderful job. So he said on Wednesday's video, which, did he do Thursday? I think so. He said that I was off and I've got all of next week off. So you obviously assumed that I was going to be off for about a week and a half, getting on 2 weeks really. But I've actually come in on a Saturday. So the real reason, guys, thumbnail and title, why have I been off? Why have I got all this time off? Why have I just dropped Isaac in the lurch? Well, in fact, I didn't really drop him in the lurch. It was under his instructions because, as you all know, Isaac and I get on very well in here. We get on well anyway. He's coming on leaps and bounds. When I'm here, I can just disappear and know that he's just going to hold the fort and get on with it. He knows the way I work. He knows the way I like it to run. He deals with the customers. He can do the invoicing. He's absolutely cracking. But it was under his instructions that I actually go home and have some time off. And the reason for that is, guys, is because, and I don't mind admitting it, you all know that, I've said it in the past, been pretty stressed actually. There's a few things been sort of getting to me over the last couple of months, I would say, really. And it's sort of, you've got 2 or 3 sort of warranty issues, which obviously is an absolute nightmare, not just for the process of going through the warranty, but obviously it's the stress of it, the inconvenience to the customer and the inconvenience to us as well. We obviously don't want it to go that way, but we've had some niggly problems. A couple of them are only very niggly, but when you get 2 or 3 of them, it does sort of get to you. Now, I know a lot of people say, not a lot of people, but the odd person says in the comments that, God, will we have his comebacks? But it actually isn't, guys. We get very, very few comebacks for the amount of work that we do. And if anyone on this planet that runs a small business of any type is honest, they all get comebacks. You always have these problems. And at the end of the day, we're building engines. You know, these things are supposed to be, you've got to try and make them watertight, oil tight, as well as doing the job. They've got so many gaskets, nuts and bolts and all the rest of it. And a lot of the stuff that we're doing is pushed way beyond its limit, especially these Cosworths these days. So yeah, it's a blooming nightmare. Not only that, I mean, you all know that in the past I've struggled with sort of mental health issues, as lots of people have, you know. I've sort of got to grips with it over the last sort of 10 or 12 years, which has been absolutely fine. And maybe I deal with stuff a lot better than I think I do, really, because obviously I've been able to run this place. You know, I've got 3 children at home that I have to go home and look after with my wife, and, you know, got a family life and all this. So there's a lot going on in my life. But I find sometimes with this, when you just get a little bit, like a few warranty issues, and you get just the general running of the place, you know, been busy, just the organising of the engines and the parts and this, that, the other. All right, we're just a small business, but it builds up, and I get to a point where I can feel that it's just even turning up is counterproductive. I don't really, not that I don't want to be here, but I dread coming here. So Isaac said, look, go and have a few days off. What did it really was Tuesday. I spent most of the day chasing money. And now I know that this year in particular, I've took your advice and said, look, I've got to get all this sort of liaising on email and stuff like that, and on paper, get it in writing, which is what you've got to do these days. You know, the old gentleman's agreement days are gone, I'm afraid. But there's been a few jobs that have sort of backfired on getting paid, been chasing money, and it's sort of decent sums on some of them, and it's just stressed me right out on the Tuesday. So Isaac said, look, go away, I can handle it. I've got things in tow here. He's got about 3 motors on the go at once. Everything was organised. He said, just go away and chill out. So I've done that on the Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. And I feel so much better, guys. It's unbelievable, really. Just to take that break. I noticed when I went home on the Wednesday, my head was all over the place. But on the Thursday and yesterday, a lot better. I've spent some time with my kids. I've took the kids to school, gone and picked them up. It's very important to get your head straight. I've come in on the Saturday today. I've got a few things sorted out for Isaac. I've managed to bore the block for the Focus RS Mark III over there. So I've done that for him. I bought a couple of other blocks. I managed to get some pistons turned down, these lovely Cosworth pistons here. I've managed to modify the crowns for the engine that they're going in. Done a few little jobs, done some paperwork, just got things in order really, ready for next week because I'm going on holiday. We're going to Centre Parks next week, so for our yearly visit with the kids. So yeah, everything's in order here. I'm happy and I just thought I'll pump out a video. Isaac did say to me yesterday, I mean, he's had, all right, he's a youngster, but he's had 3 days of sort of running the show just in here. And he rang me up yesterday and said, look, I can't think of anything to do a video on. So that's what it's like just running the channel. I mean, the channel's just like a job on its own. So I said, just don't worry, mate. I'll go away and I'll do one tomorrow. Not a problem at all. I'm sure you guys won't mind. So yeah, just coming up with content and editing and just the general running of this channel is a mission on its own. So got a lot on, guys. So I apologise for that. But as I say, I'm on holiday next week and I will be back the following week. So just bear with us on the channel. I'm not quite sure yet what's going to happen next week as far as videos go, but we're going to try and get something out to you. But before we go any further, guys, let's show you this. We've got an absolute beauty of a crank here. Now, this was bought by us and delivered by Mar Motorsport. So Mar have decided, Adrian and Paul there and Jenny, they've decided to produce their own crankshaft, and it's a pretty much identical crankshaft to another very well-known brand under their own branding. So you've got the Mar Motorsport logo on there. Absolutely fantastic bit of kit here. This is aerospace 4340 material, shot peened, balanced. It is nitrided, and this is a standard stroke and journal size for the YB Cosworth, guys. So this thing here is coming out through them at just under 1,700 quid, including the VAT. Now, we all know what the second-hand market is like with these Cosy cranks. The ones that have come out or the ones that you can buy, all right, they may be, if you get the odd one that's standard, they're asking cuckoo money for them. And to be honest, from my experience, even if they're standard journal size, they're going to need grinding. So, you know, they've got 30, 40 years of abuse now, these cranks. They're all getting a bit thin on the ground. They're hard to find. The ones that you do find, you never know what they're going to be like. Chances are they're going to need a couple of hundred quid's worth of grinding and a couple of hundred quid's worth of balancing on top of that. So, yeah, Mar have decided to produce their own for the YBs. We will certainly be trying to persuade customers to fit these now. I will put a link in the description below, guys, to their website so you can go and have a little read about these. They've got the description there, the tech sheet and what have you. But it's an absolutely lovely, lovely item. Mar Motorsport, as I say, we buy quite a lot from Mar. I've got all the gaskets and parts for the Focus RS there, same as the Z-Tech. They supply a lot of our kit now. They do a lot of decent performance stuff. We buy the Cosy pistons and that from them, so they've been good as gold to us. So yeah, I'll leave a description in the a link in the description below. But you'll probably find if you come to us, have a little look there. But if you come to us, we might be able to do you one cheaper than that. We've got a bit of a deal going on with them, so. Yeah, we're hoping to shift a few of these guys, and as you can see, they look absolutely wonderful. Why are you going to mess about with them old cranks at stupid money where you can just stick one of these in? Same with the Bridgeway rods that we use. They're from Mar Motorsport, and they come out at really sensible money. It ain't worth pissing about with the old ones, to be honest with you, half the time. If you've got one that needs proper sizing, we just tend to ring them up and say, look, give us a price for the set of them, and they come out at really crazy low money. Same with all the pistons, you know, the the Marla standard pistons we get from them. These things are absolutely fantastic. I got no problem with using these, even in big power stuff. We tend to modify the crown, take some weight off them, but they're a forged item. Really, really good. But if you're sort of pushing on the power to really serious power, you know, you can go to like the Cosworth pistons and various other things, Wiseco, Wasner, all that. But Mar do quite a lot of stuff. So yeah, go over there, guys, and take a look at that. Click on that link there and have a little look over at Mar, see some of the trick stuff they do. But as I say, if you're interested in anything, not just for the Cosies, but it's worth giving us a shout, because we might be able to do a little bit cheaper, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so what we got in here? We have got the V8 block, which I still ain't put the liners in. The Lotus block over here, look, Isaac's finished honing that one. That's the one I bored. He's faced it. He's ready for a good clean and a lick of paint, that thing. We get that on a stand. So we've ordered all the bits. As Isaac said in his last video, he's got loads of bits for them now. So I don't know whether we're waiting for much. I think the cams are on their way, maybe, something like that. But I've come in today mainly this morning, guys, because we've had 2 engines delivered. Now, these were a pair of engines that have been the customer has been threatening to send in, but we've sort of been putting him off, obviously, until we get a little bit of room. And one is Isaac's absolute baby. This is the EJ20 Subaru Impreza engine. And this one is in for all the trick bits. So suspected crank, it's the usual for the Subarus, I'm afraid. So probably a new crankshaft. We're going to go for trick rods, trick pistons. These are I think it's an STI, this one. So this is the solid lifter setup, which is great. So we're going to obviously strip it, completely blast it and clean it right up. Keep the original cams. We're going to set all the clearances up, you know, basically just give the heads a birthday. We're probably going to put a brace kit into the open deck block, or each side of the crankcase. You can get like a plate, really, that sort of presses into the top of the open deck block, and then you sort of machine it, and that acts as a strengthening brace. So we're probably going to be doing that. So yeah, first of all, that's going to be Isaac's in it. No one else going to be doing that. He loves them. So that's Isaac's. When we've got some time, he's going to get that stripped and we can report back to the customer. He's bought a nice trick clutch for it. So we've got all the bits for the crankshaft. We can get all that balanced. But it was 2 guys actually that drove up today. Drove down from right up north. So it was that engine there, and also one of these, which bloody rare now, these things. I don't think I've ever seen a complete engine of these. But this is the Cosworth V6. Now this is out of the Mark III Granada, I do believe, originally. You used to run an auto box. So this is the Cosworth 24 valve, what they used to say. So basically, what is Cosworth about this, guys? Well, the heads mainly, and the fact that they were built in the Cosworth factory. So they're proper Cosy. But what Ford did at the time was use the Cologne. I think that's the 2.9 bottom end, isn't it? The Cologne cast iron block. These were the ones originally that run the... They run the 6 valve per side head, the 12 valve heads on the old Cologne. I think they were in like the original Granadas, but these Cosworth have sort of designed their own cylinder heads in aluminium and made those typical Cosworth, really, probably trick heads, up the power considerably from the original Cologne, I'd imagine. They also titivated the crankshaft. It's got a stronger crank, stronger rods. Marla pistons running I think it's a 9.7 to 1, which is quite low really for an NA, but that plays in the favour for these engines for what this customer's done. So what he's done, he's put this engine in his Capri with a manual box, I do believe, and that is going to be very interesting, especially because it's got 2 turbos strapped to the side of it. So he's been running about 8-9 PSI, I think. Pretty standard boost. Obviously, because of the fairly low compression ratio, you can sort of get away with that without stripping the engine, really, by strapping a couple of turbos on. But he wants to now, I think this has had a cam chain issue somewhere along the lines. He did point out to me today that he's got all the cam chain and the cam rails brand new, which are absolute rocking horse poo. It looks like someone's recreated some of the rails, which you just can't get, and he's paid absolutely cuckoo money for them. But you got to, otherwise it scraps the engine. So it's had some sort of issue down the line with the cam chain assembly. So we'll have a look at that. We'll take the heads off. He's had the heads off himself anyway and had a look. So it will just be a birthday on the bottom end, go through the heads, see what damage it's done, hopefully nothing major, and then he wants us to put it together. So quite an interesting one, guys. As I say, quite looking forward to getting in amongst these heads, really, just to see what's typical Cosworth about them. He wants to put some trick pistons in if we can get them. If not, we're going to look into probably getting them made, see what we got. And then he's probably going to up some more boost, but not too much more because it's in a Capri and it'll be absolutely lethal. But yeah, really, really interesting that. And it's lovely to see one. It's a nice, neat, small little motor that. Still quite weighty though with a cast iron block, I'd imagine. But that is it. That is it, guys. Not really much more to report back to today to you guys. But as I say, just bear with us. Next week, Isaac's obviously going to do all he can. I'm going to be away sunning it up in sunny wherever it is, Centre Parks, doing the Christmas thing with the kids. But I will be back, and we'll be back to normal. Now I feel all chilled out. Deep breathing, and it'll be back to normal hopefully in a couple of weeks. But thank you very much for being patient, guys. Isaac, I would have thought next week he's going to, at some point, hopefully Monday or Tuesday, he's going to do a video just reporting what he's got here, because he's got 3 on the go at the moment. He's got the RS, which he's got to get done, this Mark III. All the bits are on the way. A lot of them are here. I think we're just waiting for the stud and nut kit, ARP head stud and nut kit. But that thing there's got to be done by the beginning of December. We promised the customer. So that's just Meccano. Same with this one. The cams and the vernier pulleys are turning up for the Z-Tech. So that's another one he can get on with. And then it's get on with a Lotus, because we have got a Lotus coming in 2 weeks, I believe. Another Lotus twin cam. So busy. Try not to get too stressed. You enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. And I will see you when I see you. Take care. Bye.